There's our first game in the Championship is just around the corner. Just how much have you been looking forward to this moment since that final whistle blew at Wembley, I suppose?
Yeah, I think it doesn't seem that long ago that happened, and we've done as much as we possibly can in what's been a very short space of time to be as prepared as we can for something that we haven't been in for 25 years. And we can't wait. There's a lot of excitement around to start the season, firstly against Norwich and then for the games after. And a lot of excitement around now seeing, what we can do. And we've worked extremely hard on the training pitches, players, staff, to try and make sure we're in the best place we can be. And I'm very happy with where we are.
Going into this game on Saturday, it's going to be a sellout. We've seen season tickets sold out as well. There's just so much excitement around the city and the county for this. Does the club just feel in a different place now compared to when you can remember even working here as a young academy coach?
I spent 3 or 4 days away in the off season. That was all we managed to get. But the beauty of that was walking around and being around Oxford. You got to see how many Oxford shirts were kicking around the county, which wasn't something you always have seen. I don't know if it's because I was now looking for them, but there was a lot of them on young and old across the many places, and there was no shortage of people that would come and speak about not just Wembley, but about the club and some of the memories of the club from past, which also included the great day we had at Wembley, but also how big and impactful this club can and is on the people of Oxford. So, yeah, it'd be good to get back to the stadium. It'd be good to now build on what we had, the back end of the season, playoff games, the atmosphere that was created at the stadium for those games, and to now welcome everybody back in front of a full house, and hopefully one of many as we lead past Norwich through this wonderful season.
It's been a busy summer. It's been a shorter summer with that playoff final at Wembley to prepare for this moment, the first game in the Championship as well. But as we sit here at this moment in time, pre-season's now come to an end. We've done a lot of business in terms of transfers as well. Just how do you feel that the club and the team are in preparation for Saturday?
I think we're in the best place we can possibly be. I said it's not been much time since that whistle went at Wembley, but we've moved quickly to try and prepare ourselves for what we're going into, and it is the excitement is we're going into the unknown. We know that, but when you go into the unknown, you try and prepare yourself for what you think you may face. And we've done a lot of work before Wembley, scenario planning, that when that whistle went, if we were the team that went up, we were able to quickly move on some players that we wanted to bring in. We've been able to do that. I think we've brought 11 in already. The window's still open for a couple more weeks yet, so there will be a couple more faces that come through that door. But on the pitch, we've had 6 good weeks pre-season. 1 week in Spain, we've had some really good pre-season friendlies, and we've arrived at the end of it with players really hungry to, show what they can do at this level. There's a lot of people, players that have been waiting a long, long time to either get back into the Championship or to actually now test themselves at this level, and it's one I know that we all can't wait for.
I suppose all summer when you've been speaking, questions have always been about transfers and about plans for the summer. Now, just leading into a game, we're back talking about team news and about opposition as well. So talk to us about Saturday, the place the team are in terms of that team news, but also in terms of the threats of Norwich.
Yeah, so we've come through 6 good weeks of pre-season in a really good place. We've got Will Goodwin unfortunately picked up that ankle injury that will keep him out for at least 6 weeks. But other than that, Owen Dale returned to training. Whether or not he's involved on Saturday, find out. But other than that, we've got a pretty healthy and fit squad. So look, it's now making sure we got not just Norwich, we obviously have Coventry on the Friday after, but we also have Peterborough sandwiched in between in a cup game. And we know that players, the same with other teams, probably won't hit their straps for 5-6 games in, but what it does do is present a wonderful opportunity for us to go and have a go, and we will do. We'll do our best to make sure that we put our best foot forward, certainly at home, to try and make sure we can perform and get the result we want. But we know we're coming up against a different calibre of team and a higher level of opponents than we've had and become used to in the last 5 or 6 years. Norwich will be that first test of that. And then you look through the league and the teams that are there, they don't get any less. So, but that's one to be excited for, and one we are. We know Norwich are a good team. They were recently, or not far from, being a Premier League side, very established in the Championship, good players, a new manager as well. We've been to see some of their games in pre-season, so look, we're expecting a very tough game, but it's one that we've worked so hard for, and one that we're as ready as we can be for.
I always think this stage as a supporter of whatever team you follow is the most exciting. A couple of days away from the first game, you're going into a season where anything could potentially happen. I know that you'll have your professional head on as well, but can you also have that excitement and that dreaming mentality going into a new season as well?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. We had a conversation. We had a guy called Christian Penny over from High Performance Sport New Zealand last week, and he just came in to kind of shadow and have a look at what we do and how we did it. He's worked in some really high performing environments. He's over at the Olympics at the moment, working across multiple events. And we spoke about sort of targets and setting targets, whether it's for the group here or us as a club. And the interesting thing is, I think if you set a target now, again, there's so many unknowns. We don't know, what it may look like in a week or two's time. And what we don't want to do is set a target and then realise at some point we may have limited ourselves. So we'll come to that, after a couple of weeks, once we find our way. And look, like I said, we've got a way we want to do it. We won't back away from that. We'll want to go out and give this season a really good go, and we feel that we've brought players in to complement what we already have to be able to do the best that we can in that space. And we hope that we'll do our best to start that on Saturday.
And going into the game on Saturday, it will be a sold-out crowd at our home ground. I mean, we saw how important that can be towards the back end of last season. Your team delivered on the park, and together we had this real unity between supporters and team and yourself as well. Just how important will that be again this season, starting on Saturday?
I think often you can sit here and say that the fans are the 12th man and how important they are. Anyone that come to the stadium and was fortunate to experience that atmosphere that was created, not just for the playoffs, but I think there was a spell of 3, 4, maybe 5 games leading into that. That atmosphere that was created, when you talk about us being a club, we know we're going into a league where there's going to be other teams that are really going to cause us problems. But the importance that our crowd can play, and we've shown it. Don't need to sit here and talk about it. People have seen it, they've felt it. It's going to be so important that we do that from Saturday, and we continue to do that together through every home game that we have. And when we get the luxury now of going to some stadiums and away games that will be a good experience for everyone. So they'll play such an important role for us. And again, it's not about sitting here and sort of blowing smoke and saying that that's going to be important. We've seen the value of it. We've seen the benefit of it, not just in our stadium, but I go back to the scenes at Carfax when we went through the trophy parade. That connection between the club and the fans, that's something that we've finished really strongly with, and we want to start again this season with.
I'm looking forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Thank you.